Hello, welcome to this video and previous tutorial. We continue where we ended on ecology, so we'll continue with the food webs. Now, we talked about the food chain, that the food chain contains organisms in the ascending order, starting from the producer, the primary consumer, secondary consumer, and the tertiary consumer. Now, we said in a food chain, you can't exceed those four ecological levels. Now, a food web, now that's when now it comes in, where like a food web is a group of interlinked food chains. So you can have a food chain, for example, like grass, rabbit, then you just end on lion, sorry. It's a food chain. And I can say cabbage. No, not cabbage, but grass. Cow, human, then lion. It's a food chain. It's a food chain 1, it's a food chain 2. So what are we trying to talk about here when they say a food web is an interlinked food chains? You combine these and you form one. You know that glass is a primary source of energy, not really the primary, but it's the primary, it's a producer. Now this grass can be fed by rabbit and cow. So you can say rabbit, you can say cow. Right? And that a cow can be fed by a human being, right? Human. But we know that also a rabbit can be eaten by what? A human. You understand that? So that's how we are interlinking now. Now, at the same time, we know that this rabbit can be eaten by what? A lion. Also, this cow can be eaten by a lion. Now, a human being can also be eaten by what? A lion. So that's how we've summarized this. These are two food chains. We formed a food web. We've linked two food chains to produce one food web. I hope that was very clear. Now, what's the difference between a food chain and a food web? This question comes, please take note. One sequence of feeding relationship. In a food chain, there's only one sequence. This is a sequence and that's a sequence. Now, for a food web, there are several interlinked sequences. You can see that there's a sequence there going that side, there's this sequence going that, there's this sequence going like that. You understand that? That's a difference. Each organism occupied only one trophic level. This is trophic level, trophic level, trophic level. Now here, each organism may occupy more than one trophic level, except for the producer. The producer will always only occupy one trophic level. Okay? Usually involves fewer organisms than a food web. There are only few. Like I said, it cannot exceed 4. Usually involves more organisms than a food web. Than a food chain. You can say that there are a lot of organisms here as compared to this one, even this one itself. Okay. Away from food webs and food chains, let's look at ecological pyramids. Ecological pyramids are diagrams that shows feeding relationships in an ecosystem. They're just diagrams. Usually they are block-like. Each ecological pyramid is made of a pile of rectangular block on top of the other one. So there are only 3. At this level, we're going to learn about 3: a pyramid of numbers, pyramid of biomass, and pyramid of energy. So when talk of the pyramid of numbers, right? The pyramid of numbers, it shows just how many organisms are present at each trophic level. For example, I'll say 50. I'll say 150. I would say 75. And I'll say 25. So this is producer. primary consumer, this is secondary consumer, this is tertiary what? Consumer. So what does this mean in terms of when talking of a pyramid of numbers? This shows that at the producer trophic level we have 50 organisms, and we have 150 primary consumers, we have 75 secondary consumers, and we have 25 tertiary consumers. That's what the pyramid of numbers just shows. What of the pyramid of biomass? Now what is biomass? Biomass is the total dry mass of an object, right? Total dry mass of an object. Now this, it shows the mass, all right, contained in that organism. For example, I would say 50 kg, I would say 200 kg, I would say 95 kg, I would say 20 kg. This is a producer, primary consumer, secondary consumer. Don't abbreviate when I don't write a pyramid. I'm just abbreviating because I don't have enough space to write. So when they say 50 kg, they mean all the producers at this trophic level, they are all having a mass of 50 kg. All the primary consumers at this stage, they're having 200 kg. So this is just simple to understand. Now, it doesn't mean this has to follow the order, like you start from the smallest going to the biggest. No. What matters is this trophic level of ascendance. This is what matters the most. You always start from the producer. No matter if there is one here, if here there's 1,000, then the tertiary consumer there's one. It doesn't mean you start from one going like you are ascending as well. No, what matters is these levels are ascending. The numbers don't matter if they're ascending. Then we look at the pyramid of energy. The pyramid of energy, it shows the available energy at each trophic level. Remember we said only 10% of the energy is passed to the next trophic level. All right, and we said the 90% is lost through what processes? Through reproduction, through egestion, through respiration. These are some of the processes in which the 90% of energy is lost. So we only 10% of it is transferred to the next trophic level. Now, how can you draw the pyramid of energy? It's not different from other types of pyramids. It just shows the amount of energy that has been passed to the next trophic level. All right. Sorry. Now, energy can be measured either in joules or kilojoules. Symbol J or kilojoules, kJ. 1 kilojoule, in case you don't know, is equal to 1,000 joules. Like that. So you can draw, for example, let's say this. We have 2,000 kilojoules of energy, 200 sorry. Then you can go on and write, for example, 1,500 kilojoules of energy. Then there you can just say 500 kilojoules of energy. Then you say 2,000 kilojoules of energy. It's just a pyramid of energy. And you have the primary consumer, you have the tertiary consumer, you have the you have the producer here, the primary consumer, you have the secondary consumer, you have the tertiary consumer. So thank you so much for watching. Please study these questions, they come. Our next topic will be food cycles. We'll look at the carbon cycle, we'll look at the nitrogen cycle and their importance in the ecosystem. So please take note, study. Exams are near, those are writing. Those are writing exams and final, still you have no time, exams are near. For those who want my book on studying, I have it on how to study. You can just inbox me. If you are my student, I'll send it to you. Stay tuned. I'm pretty settled.